Here are some ridiculous animals with the most ridiculous teeth. Number 9. Naked mole rat. The naked mole rat also goes by the name desert mole rat, and it's a burrowing rodent known for its longevity and its resistance to cancer and oxygen deprivation. Wow, something that's resistant to oxygen deprivation. The mole rat lacks pain sensitivity in its skin and has very low metabolic and respiratory rates. Typical individuals are 3 to 4 inches long and weigh just a little over an ounce. They have little hair, hence the name. Its wrinkled pink or yellowish skin lacks an insulating layer as well. The first thing you'll notice about this guy is its large protruding teeth that are used for digging. Their lips are sealed and just behind the teeth, preventing soil from filling their mouths while digging. About a quarter of their musculature is used in the closing of their jaws while they dig, about the same proportion that's utilized in our legs. A mole rat's incisors can be moved independently of each other and even work together like a pair of chopsticks. What? What else is amazing is that they're one of the longest living rodents, as they have a lifespan of up to 30 years. Number 8. Saber-toothed deer. Antlers are so last season, and the saber-toothed deer is the proof for that. Musk deer can refer to any of the 7 species that make up the musk deer family. The musk deer differs from true deer by the fact that it lacks antlers and facial glands. It's different from deer by having only a single pair of teats, a gallbladder, a caudal gland, a pair of tusk-like teeth, and a musk gland, which is actually of particular economic importance to humans. Musk deer resemble small deer with a stocky build and hind legs longer than their front legs. They're about 20 to 28 inches high at the shoulder and weigh between 15 and 37 pounds. The feet of musk deer are adapted for climbing in rough terrain, and they don't have any antlers. However, with these guys lacking antlers, they make up for it by having enlarged upper canines that basically form saber-like tusks. These grow throughout the deer's life and may reach up to 4 inches in length. But don't let its teeth fool you. Musk deer are herbivores, living in woods or hills, generally far from people. Like true deer, they eat mainly leaves, flowers, and grasses. They're solitary animals and maintain well-defined territories, which they mark with their scents. Musk deer have been hunted for their scent glands, which are commonly used in perfumes. The glands can fetch up to $45,000 per kilo on the black market. It's rumored that ancient royalty wore the scent of the musk deer and that it's an aphrodisiac. Any one of you guys know how it smells? Number 7. Goosander. The goosander is a large duck found in rivers and lakes in forested areas of Europe, northern and central Asia, and North America. In most places, the goosander, or common merganser as it's called in North America, is as much a frequenter of saltwater as freshwater. These diving ducks are a member of the sawbill family, so called because of their long, serrated bills, which are used for catching fish. I know these bills aren't exactly teeth, but the bills are razor sharp, and these guys are pretty cool, so I'll let them in on this list. The goosander eats fish and nests in holes in trees. It's 23 to 28 inches long with a wide 31 to 38 inch wingspan and weighs in at a weight of 2 to 4.6 pounds. These fish-hunting ducks have serrated edges to their bills to help them grip their prey. They often fish in a group, forming a semicircle and driving the fish into shallow water, where they're captured quite easily. In addition to fish, they take a wide range of other aquatic prey, and sometimes they may even eat some smaller animals or birds. In larger streams and rivers, they float downstream for a few miles and then fish their way back. In smaller streams, they'll float down, twisting round and round in the rapids, or they'll fish vigorously in a deep pool near the foot of a waterfall or rapid. When not diving for food, they're usually seen swimming on the water's surface or resting on rocks in the middle of the river. Number 6. Crab-eater seal. The crab-eater seal is probably the most abundant large mammal on Earth and by far the most numerous kind of seal in the world, where it lives around the coast of Antarctica. Adult seals grow to around an average length of 7.5 feet and weigh on average of 440 pounds. What's interesting is that the females are usually bigger than the males. While population estimates are uncertain, there are at least 7 million and possibly as many as 75 million crab-eater seals. Really? A range of close to 70 million in difference? We can't get a more accurate count? Anyways, the success of this species is because of its specialized predation on the abundant Antarctic krill of the Southern Ocean. Despite its name, crab-eater seals don't actually eat crabs. Rather, it feeds on the krill, which comprises over 90% of its diet. Crab-eater seals have a unique adaptation for feeding. They filter krill with their teeth. They suck in water containing krill, close their jaws, and then force the water back out between their teeth, trapping the krill inside. The crab-eater seals do most of their feeding at night. They can dive as deep as 1,400 feet, and the hunt can last up to 16 hours, involving hundreds of dives. Wow! All that for just some food. The teeth of the crab-eater seal are considered to be the most specialized of any carnivore. Number 5. Narwhal. The narwhal is a medium-sized toothed whale that has a large tusk on its head. Actually, it's dubbed the unicorn of the sea. It lives year-round in the Arctic waters around Greenland, Canada, and Russia. Excluding the male's tusk, the narwhal's total size can range anywhere from 13 to 18 feet. The average weight of an adult narwhal is from 1,760 to 3,530 pounds. As I said before, the most distinguishing characteristic of the male narwhal is the single long tusk which protrudes from a canine tooth that sticks out from the left side of the upper jaw and goes through the lip. The tusk grows throughout the life and it reaches a length of anywhere from 5 feet to a little over 10 feet. The tusk is actually hollow and it's a sensory organ with millions of nerve endings connecting seawater stimuli in the external ocean environment with the brain. Male narwhals rub their tusks together as a method of communication, so they get information about characteristics of the water each has traveled through. About 1 in 500 males has 2 tusks, occurring when the right canine also grows out through the lip. Only about 15% of females grow a tusk, which typically is smaller than a male tusk. Narwhals can live up to 50 years, and the current population of the narwhal is about 75,000. In August 2016, drone videos of narwhals feeding on fish showed that narwhals uses its tusk to tap and stun small Arctic cod, which make them easier to catch. Come on, these guys can't have half a giant rod sticking out of its face without using it like a blunt object sometimes. Number 4. Babirusa. The babirusas, also called babushkas or deer pigs, are found on the Indonesian islands of Sulawesi, Togen, Sula, and Buru. The North Sulawesi babirusa is most famous for its amazing tusks, which only the males possess. Like many pigs, the male babirusa's canine teeth continue to grow throughout its life. The upper canines of male babirusas emerge vertically, penetrating through the skin and curving backward over the front of its face and towards the forehead. The lower canines also grow upwards. The canines of the female are either reduced or absent. If a babirusa doesn't grind down its tusks, the tusks can actually keep growing to penetrate the animal's own skull. Babirusas are protected in Indonesia, and killing them is illegal in most cases. However, the striking appearance of the babirusa has inspired demonic masks, and the animal itself is sometimes used as a gift to present to visitors. Number 3. Titan triggerfish. The Titan triggerfish lives in lagoons and reefs at depths of up to 160 feet in most of the Indo-Pacific Ocean. With a length of up to 30 inches, it's the largest species of triggerfish within its habitat. The Titan triggerfish feeds on sea urchins, mollusks, crustaceans, tube worms, and coral. It often feeds by turning over rocks, stirring up sand, and biting off pieces of branching coral. The Titan triggerfish is usually wary of divers and snorkelers, but during reproduction season, females vigorously guards its nest, which is placed in a flat sandy area. The territory around the nest is cone-shaped, and divers who accidentally enter could be viciously attacked. The teeth on these triggerfish are designed for crunching through hard shells and coral, and they're definitely no joke. They can inflict serious wounds on any would-be intruders, which include humans. Titan triggerfish won't always resort to violence, but if a colorful male Titan happens to charge in your direction, it's best to just retreat, using your fins as a barrier between you and the fish. Divers should swim horizontally away from the nest rather than upwards, which would only take them further into the territory. Although bites aren't venomous, the strong teeth on these guys can inflict bites serious enough to require medical attention. Number 2. Cookie cutter shark. The cookie cutter shark, which also goes by the name cigar shark, is a species of small dogfish shark. This crazy looking guy lives in warm oceanic waters worldwide, particularly near islands, and can be found as deep as almost 2.5 miles from the ocean surface. It migrates up to the surface every day, approaching the surface at dusk and descending at dawn. Reaching only from 16.5 to 22 inches in length, the cookie cutter shark has a long body with a short, blunt snout. Its eyes are large and its skin is dark brown. What's cool about this shark is that it has light-emitting photophores covering its underside except for a dark collar around its throat and gill slits. The name cookie cutter shark refers to its feeding habit of gouging round plugs out of larger animals, which look as if it were cut with a cookie cutter. Marks made by cookie cutter sharks have been found on a wide variety of sea animals, as well as on submarines, undersea cables, and even human bodies. It also consumes much smaller prey, such as squid. If something ever messes with it, such as a would-be predator, the shark attaches itself with its lips on whatever it is and neatly bites a chunk of flesh using its crazy sharp bandsaw-like set of lower teeth. There are 30 to 37 teeth in the upper jaw and 25 to 31 rows of teeth in the lower jaw, and the number increases correspondingly with the body size. The upper and lower teeth are extremely different. The upper teeth are small, narrow, and upright, tapering to a single smooth-edged cusp. The lower teeth are also smooth-edged, but much larger, broader, and knife-like, with their bases interlocking to form a single saw-like cutting edge. Cookie cutter sharks are rarely encountered because of where it hangs out. However, there have been a handful of documented attacks on humans. Even with that considered, this shark isn't regarded as highly dangerous. Number 1. Sheep's head fish. The sheep's head fish is a fish that can grow all the way up to 30 inches, but is usually commonly found at a size of 10 to 20 inches. It's not clear why the sheep's head is called the sheep's head, but it's been suggested that it refers to how its teeth look like sheep's teeth. The shape of its body is deep and compressed with 5 or 6 dark bars on the side of the body over its gray background. The sheep's head is found in coastal waters along the western Atlantic from Nova Scotia to Brazil, but the greatest concentration is around southwest Florida. Although the Sheepshead Bay section of Brooklyn in New York City was named after the fish, it's actually now rarely found that far north. Its diet consists of oysters, clams, and other crustaceans. The weirdest part about this fish is, of course, its mouth. That has several rows of stubby teeth. The front ones that it has really look like human teeth. A fully grown adult sheep's head will have well-defined incisors sitting at the front of its jaw, and it has molars set in 3 rows in the upper jaw and 2 rows in the lower jaw. It has strong, heavy grinders set in the rear of the jaw too, which are particularly important for crushing the shells of its prey. As with humans, this unique combination of teeth helps the sheep's head process a wide-ranging omnivorous diet. Hey, more power to this little guy for food. Here's what's next. The nightmarish fangtooth is among the deepest living fish ever discovered. This fish's normal habitat range is normally 6,500 feet, but it's been found swimming at the icy black depths of nearly 16,500 feet.